Alright, let me be straight with you. You're about to drop 35 grand on a Toyota Camry. And look, I get it. The Camry's reliable. It's safe. It's never gonna embarrass you. At the school pickup line. I've heard that speech 100 times. But here's what a Camry will never give you. That moment when you sink into a seat, close the door and think, wait, this feels better than the Mercedes I test drove last weekend. This feels like luxury. I'm not messing around here. I've been in and out of cars for over a decade. In this industry for quite a while. And these 8 Chinese SUVs I'm about to show you, real leather, real wood trim, screens so big they make a Tesla look modest, doors that close with that deep, satisfying thud you only expect from a German car. Every single one of them costs less than that Camry. Sitting in the showroom right now. And number 1 on this list? I sat in it, closed the door, looked around the cabin. It's incredible. And I genuinely had no idea I was in a Chinese car until I glanced down at the logo on the steering wheel. So before we get into it, hit that subscribe button right now. Because if you're buying a car in the next couple of years, this is the video your wallet has been waiting for. And before we count down, let me tell you about the car. Sitting at number 1 on this list. I'm not going to tell you the name yet, because if I say it right now, half of you are going to click off and think I've lost my mind. What I will tell you is this. Real leather seats, a door that closes with the kind of thud you only hear on an S-Class, a screen bigger than most people's kitchen TVs, and a price tag under $30,000. Still here? Good. All right, let's get into it. And hey, real quick, if you're planning on buying a car anytime in the next 2 years, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. Because the stuff I'm covering on this channel is exactly what the dealership down the street doesn't want you to know before you walk in. All right, let's go. Now, before we get rolling, here's how I picked these 8 cars. No sponsored content, no brand deals, no fluff. 3 rules only. First, the sticker price has to come in under what you'd pay for a fully loaded Toyota Camry. In the US market right now, we're talking the $35,000 range. Second, the interior materials have to hold up in real life, not just in a press photo with perfect studio lighting. Third, at least 4 stars on a recognized crash safety rating. That's the floor. If a car couldn't clear all 3, it didn't make the cut. One more thing before we dive in. This isn't a video about cheering for China or bashing Japan. This is a video about your money. And so let's spend it smart. Number 8, Chery Tiggo 8 Pro. Let's kick things off with the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro. And I'm starting here because this one sets the tone perfectly for everything else on this list. You know what a Honda CR-V gets you? 5 seats, a decent interior, and a bill somewhere north of $32,000. The Tiggo 8 Pro gets you 7 seats, a panoramic sunroof that stretches almost the entire length of the roof, and a cabin that honestly makes the CR-V feel like a rental car. From the outside, it's clean and confident 直视点. Wide stance, sharp LED headlights, chrome accents that don't look cheap. Inside is where it gets interesting. You've got a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster 直视点, paired with a 17.6-inch center touchscreen. That's bigger than a lot of laptops people are working on right now. The seats are wrapped in a leather feel material that holds up well. Not paper thin, not sticky in the summer. The second row has enough legroom for adults. And the third row is actually usable 直视点 for kids or shorter passengers 直视点, which is more than I can say for a lot of 3-row SUVs 直视点. At twice this price, under the hood 直视点, you're getting a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder 直视点, pushing out around 197 horsepower 直视点, mated to a smooth 7-speed dual-clutch transmission 直视点. Fuel economy sits at roughly 28 miles per gallon 直视点. On the highway, nothing earth-shattering, but totally respectable 直视点. For a 7-seater, price in international markets 直视点 lands between $22,000 and $28,000 直视点. Depending on the trim, that's a 7-seat SUV 直视点 with a giant touchscreen for less than a 5-seat CR-V 直视点. So I'll ask you this, are you paying for seats 直视点 or are you paying for the badge 直视点? Number 7, Haval H6. Next up is the Haval H6, and this one's going to surprise you. For a reason most car reviewers don't even talk about, NVH. That stands for noise, vibration, and harshness. And it's basically the invisible quality test that separates a car that feels solid from one that feels like a tin can at highway speed. Independent tests comparing the Haval H6 directly against the Mazda CX-5 have shown the Haval performing better in cabin noise levels at freeway speeds. Let me say that again, quieter than a CX-5, which is a car that's been praised for its refined ride for years. From the outside, the H6 has this premium crossover look, flowing roofline, flush door handles, LED lighting front and back. The interior is where Great Wall Motor clearly spent their money. Soft touch surfaces on every panel you actually touch, a large floating touchscreen, and an ambient lighting system that lets you dial in the mood of the cabin. The seats are wide and well bolstered, the kind of seat you can spend 3 hours in on a road trip. Without your backstaging a protest, power comes from a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine, producing 169 horsepower, with an optional 2-liter turbo bumping that up to 221. Fuel efficiency on the 1.5 sits around 30 miles per gallon highway. Pricing falls between $21,000 and $29,000. The Mazda CX-5 you'd compare this to starts at $30,000 and climbs fast from there. So let me ask, are you buying the driving experience or are you buying a name? Coming in at number 6 is the impressive Geely Manjaro. Now here's where things start getting genuinely interesting. This is the all-new Geely Manjaro crossover. If the name Geely doesn't mean much to you yet, let me give you one piece of context. That'll change how you read everything else about this car. Geely owns Volvo. Not partnered with, not affiliated with, owns. Which means when their engineers sat down to design the Manjaro's platform and safety architecture, they had access to the same DNA that goes into building one of the safest cars on the planet. The exterior of the Manjaro is genuinely striking. Long hood, sweeping roofline, a front end that looks more like a European Grand Tourer than a Chinese crossover. Step inside and the quality jump from number 8 and 7 is immediately noticeable. Real stitched leather on the seats and dashboard, a large curved display, integrates the driver screen and infotainment into one clean sweep of glass, and a level of panel fit and finish that would make you do a double take on the price sheet. The ride is smooth and planted. That Volvo platform influence is not just marketing talk, you feel it in how the car absorbs road imperfections. Engine is a 2-liter turbocharged 4 producing 238 horsepower. 0 to 60 in around 6.9 seconds, quick enough that you're never hunting for more power in everyday driving. Pricing sits between $27,000 and $34,000. A Hyundai Tucson in the same spec range costs you roughly the same, but without the Volvo-sourced engineering underneath. Volvo quality at Hyundai money. I'll let you sit with that one. Number 5. Buidsong Plus. Halfway through the list and we're getting into territory where the word value starts to feel inadequate. This is the BYD Song Plus, a vehicle that redefines value. BYD, Build Your Dreams, is the company Warren Buffett invested in years ago. And if you follow where smart money goes in the auto industry, you already know why. The Song Plus is a mid-size SUV that comes in both plug-in hybrid and fully electric versions. We're going to talk about the plug-in hybrid here because the numbers are genuinely hard to argue with. Real-world electric range of around 60 miles on a full charge, meaning most people driving daily commutes never touch the gas tank. Combined range with the gas engine extends beyond 600 miles. For families doing weekend road trips and daily school runs, this is a legitimate solution. The interior punches well above its price. Rotating center console, a large vertical touchscreen running BYD's Die-Link system, premium leather seating, and a panoramic glass roof. Build quality is tight. No rattles, no gaps in the trim, no shortcuts in the places your hands land every day. The battery comes with an 8-year warranty. 8 years. Compare that to the standard 3-year bumper-to-bumper most Japanese and European brands hand you, and try not to feel like you've been shortchanged. Pricing starts around $27,000 for the plug-in hybrid. A Toyota RAV4 Prime, the closest direct competitor, starts at $44,000. Which battery warranty makes you feel better about writing that check? Number 4. Omoda C9. The Omoda C9 is a name most people in the US haven't heard yet. That is definitely going to change. Omoda is Chery's premium sub-brand, built specifically to compete with European and Japanese SUVs in the mid to upper price bracket. And the C9 goes after the Volkswagen Tiguan directly. Here's the thing about the Tiguan. It is quite a fine car. Solid, respectable, gets the job done. But if you sit inside a base model Tiguan and then walk over to an Omoda C9, in the same price range, the comparison is uncomfortable for VW. The C9 gives you genuine leather, not leatherette, not bonded leather, actual leather, on the seats and dashboard trim, real wood accents on the center console, and a cabin layout that feels like someone actually thought about where your hands and eyes go when you're driving. The exterior design is aggressive and modern, wide, low with a bold front grille, and full-width LED taillights that light up in a distinctive pattern at night. Performance comes from a 2-liter turbocharged engine, producing 254 horsepower, 0 to 60 in around 6.5 seconds. That's quicker than the Tiggan R-Line. Pricing for the C9 comes in between $26,000 and $33,000. The Tiggan starts at $31,000, and the interior materials at that price point are mostly hard plastic and leatherette. So what exactly is Volkswagen selling you? At that price point? Number 3, GEC Ion V. We're in the top 3 now, and this is where the conversation shifts. From surprisingly good to genuinely hard to explain away. The GEC Ion V is a fully electric mid-size SUV, and the number that's going to stick in your head is this: 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. A Kia Sorento with the turbo engine does it in 7.2. We're talking a full 1.5 second gap. In everyday driving, that's the difference between confidently merging onto a freeway and white-knuckling it. The Aeon V's exterior is clean and aerodynamic, smooth surfaces, a closed-off front fascia, and a light bar running the full width of the rear. Inside, you're looking at a 15.6-inch rotating touchscreen. Yes, rotating so the passenger can flip it toward their side. Leather seating with heating, ventilation, and massage functions. And a panoramic roof that opens the cabin up completely. Real-world electric range sits around 300 miles on a charge, putting it in direct competition with the Tesla Model Y in terms of capability. Safety ratings from CNCAP come in at 5 stars. Pricing starts at $29,000 in international markets. A Kia Sorento hybrid in a comparable trim runs you around $40,000. 1.5 seconds faster, bigger screen, massage seats, and $11,000 cheaper. Who told you fast had to be expensive? Number 2, Lynk & Co. 09. If number 3 made you raise an eyebrow, number 2 is going to make you put your coffee down. The Lynk & Co. 09. Lynk & Co. is another Geely brand, di Fitri, which again means Volvo in the bloodline, and the 09 is their flagship 3-row SUV. The platform underneath this car is shared with the Volvo XC90. Not inspired by, not similar to, shared with. You are getting the structural bones of a $60,000 Volvo in a package that starts at $38,000. The exterior is bold and contemporary, long, wide, a substantial road presence that makes people look twice in traffic. The interior is where the Volvo relationship shows most clearly. The material quality, the seat comfort, the way the cabin is laid out, it feels like a premium European SUV because in a very real engineering sense, it partly is one. 3 genuine rows of seating, a large touchscreen, running Lynk's connected car system, full ambient lighting, and a sound system that fills the cabin without distortion at volume. Power comes from a 2-liter turbo producing 305 horsepower in the top spec with all-wheel drive standard, 0 to 60 in around 5.9 seconds. Pricing lands between $32,000 and $42,000. At the top end of the range, a BMW X5 starts at $65,000. So I want you to think about that question honestly. Do you actually need the BMW badge, or do you need what the BMW badge is supposed to represent? Number 1, the all-new Zeekr X Performance SUV. Alright, this is the one I told you about at the start. This is the Zeekr X, a masterpiece of modern electric design. Zeekr is Geely's performance electric brand. Think of it as their answer to what BMW's M division would look like if it was built from the ground up as an EV-first company. The X is their compact luxury SUV, and the moment you sit inside one, something happens that I want to try to describe accurately. You reach out and you close the heavy luxury door. It closes with that deep, dense, airtight thud, the sound that luxury car engineers spend years and millions of dollars tuning, because it communicates quality in a way that no spec sheet can. You look at the seats, full Napa leather, the kind that has a softness and grain that you feel immediately. You look at the dashboard, a 15.4-inch touchscreen, flush-mounted, no bezel clutter, paired with a digital driver display that's crisp and clean. The ambient lighting traces the interior panels in a thin, even line. That doesn't look like an afterthought. The fit and finish, panel gaps, surface textures, the way the materials meet at every seam is on a level that you simply do not expect at this price. The exterior is sharp and athletic. Low roofline, muscular fenders, a closed front end with a full-width light bar. That makes it instantly recognizable at night. Performance is fully electric, dual-motor all-wheel drive, producing 428 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Real-world range around 270 miles. Pricing starts at $30,000. A Mercedes GLA, which the ZX goes directly after, starts at $44,000. And in most back-to-back comparisons, the ZX wins on screen size, material quality, and performance. I sat in this car, I closed that door, I looked around that cabin, and I genuinely did not know I was sitting in a Chinese car until I looked down at the steering wheel. That's not a marketing line, that's just what happened. So there you have it, 8 Chinese SUVs. 8 times I sat inside a car and had to ask myself the same uncomfortable question. What exactly have I been paying for all these years? The brands we trust, the logos we recognize, the names we grew up thinking meant quality. A lot of that story is being rewritten right now, whether the mainstream car media wants to talk about it or not. I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm just telling you what's out there. Go sit in one of these, make up your own mind. And if you've got a friend who's about to walk into a dealership and sign papers on a Camry, do them a favor and send them this video first. Hit subscribe because the next video on this channel is going to be 100% real world. I'm putting 3 of these cars through 10,000 kilometers of actual driving and reporting back on every rattle, every repair, and every surprise. You don't want to miss that one.